Look at Callum Turner, and you see the archetypal Hollywood leading man. Over the last few years, he's dominated the screen in massive prestige projects like the World War II epic Masters of the Air. His background includes high-fashion modeling campaigns, and his private life regularly makes global headlines, especially following his marriage to pop superstar Dua Lipa. But that polished exterior hides a completely unhinged, hilariously chaotic reality. Turner is a self-described late person whose life is governed by everyday mishaps. Recently, in a desperate bid to finally be on time for a meeting with Hugh Grant, Turner sprinted down a London street, completely wiped out, and broke his toe. He still showed up to meet Grant, coughing, out of breath, and injured. To understand how someone this wildly uncoordinated landed lead roles for directors like Steven Spielberg and George Clooney, we have to look past the red carpets and examine a lifetime of relentless, scrappy hustle. That hustle started far away from the glamour of central London, growing up in Chelsea on the World's End council estate. Raised by a single mother who worked as a club promoter, he spent his childhood surrounded by a constant rotation of colorful, eccentric characters that shaped his understanding of the world. He didn't have a master plan. He actually dropped out of school early to try and play semi-professional football, eventually bouncing around various retail jobs just to get by. What he did have was pure, unadulterated audacity. At 17, jealous of his friends' pub jobs, he marched into a local bar and confidently lied to the manager, claiming he was an experienced bartender. The manager called his bluff and demanded he pour a beer. Turner proceeded to serve up an absolute disaster of foam, what he now calls a shaggy pint, and was immediately kicked out onto the street. The pub trial was a failure, but it proved that Turner was willing to bluff. It was a philosophy of unearned confidence that he was about to apply to a much larger stage. After transitioning into modeling for brands like Reebok, Turner caught the acting bug. He wanted to be on screen, but he had zero formal training and absolutely no industry connections. When traditional talent agencies flat out refused to sign him, he joined a website called Casting Pool Pro and secretly became his own representative. He fired off cold emails raving about a really good new talent, only to show up to the auditions himself. This DIY approach landed him in some truly bizarre situations. He frequently found himself in crowded audition rooms alongside formally trained drama students, rolling around on the floor and pretending to be a tree on command. The grind paid off. He booked his first short films, survived being killed by Jake Gyllenhaal in a music video, and rapidly ascended to starring roles in major franchises like Fantastic Beasts and gripping series like The Capture. Yet, despite his wildly unorthodox entry into the business, Turner developed a reputation for intense discipline on set. While filming Masters of the Air, he and co-star Austin Butler famously avoided the cast's wilder antics, choosing instead to play cards and serve as a reliable, grounding presence for the production. He bypassed the gatekeepers entirely, turning a series of cold emails into a lead role in a John Boorman film and an eventual nomination for a BAFTA. Today, even with his face on billboards and a pop star on his arm, Turner completely rejects the highly guarded, pretentious behavior you usually expect from a newly minted A-lister. He remains hilariously grounded by his own quirks. For one, he hasn't let go of his childhood ambitions, openly admitting he still unironically holds out hope of getting drafted as a professional footballer well into his 30s. His sports superstitions are also completely out of control. While watching a Chelsea match on an iPad during dinner, he forced his wife and friends to remain frozen at the table, forbidding anyone, even the dog, from leaving the room, just to protect a 3-goal lead. And when sent to the breathtaking, pristine mountains of Whistler, Canada, to film the romantic comedy Eternity, he flat out refused to step foot on the scenic hiking trails. The locals made the mistake of warning him about brown bears in the area, prompting Turner to lock himself indoors. He spent his downtime battling a terrible cold by chewing on raw garlic, making himself feel and smell exponentially worse. That commitment to his own rough edges is what makes him stand out in a town full of manufactured personas. He's still the same kid from Chelsea, just one who finally has the world watching.